Ayo, I'm back with the weekly batch shenanigans. Finally doing it on Sunday because yesterday I was uh, little bit hungover from celebrating some stuff on Friday. So I wanted to approach this with a clear mind, so I left it for Sunday. Listening to some nice techno, can't hear that for copyright reasons. Having some nice drinks, and yeah, just gonna check my data, see how I performed, whether I made mistakes and stuff like that. And I want to start this week actually on the topic of mistakes. So when I look at my forward test, right? This is my entire forward test from the beginning of the year. I would say in areas like all the way of this, like in the first couple of months, I made a lot of mistakes. And that was quite intentional, actually. I made those mistakes because, well, I was forward testing and I realized that it's important to understand why taking certain things is a mistake and see the feelings associated with it and so on. And I would allow myself to take those mistakes and then I would analyze, right? And I would reach the conclusion over and over that yes, those are the mistakes. And then I would filter the mistakes out and see week by week that I'm performing better if I filter them out. And after some time, like let's say after 5 months or something, then I slowly started transitioning into trying to actually weed out those mistakes completely and not take them, right? Maybe I would, because I've kind of gotten into the habit that even if something is suboptimal, I would still take it just to understand later during my journey what it feels like and like how we need to learn not to take those mistakes. But first, I needed to know why they were mistakes. I hope that's making sense. And yeah, until recently, I've just been trying to weed them out completely. Like I would maybe still document some of them, some suboptimal setups, just to evaluate whether they were or were not right. You know, some gray area stuff. And that was kind of okay, but I found myself still making quite a few mistakes. And very recently, the newest thing is that these days I get annoyed when I make mistakes, right? And I realized that probably the first time last week. Like last week, I was really annoyed for making a couple of mistakes, and I thought about it whether like how am I supposed to work with this, right? Like, is it okay that that I'm hating this? Is it okay that it annoys me, or is it toxic and I should be careful and not fuck up my mental? Well, I think it's all about how we frame stuff, right? And I'm going to frame it in a way that I believe it's a good thing because being annoyed with my results is what's going to drive me forward ultimately. That's what I believe. So, being annoyed that I made a couple of mistakes, like, yeah, I'm not going to beat myself up for it. I'm not going to, like, say that I'm an idiot and whatnot, some stuff that I used to do before. No, I'm just gonna note it down and I'm gonna be annoyed about it. And I'm gonna be like, well, yeah, I performed suboptimally. I could have done better. I know I can do better. And I'm just still making mistakes. And, gonna try my best not to. And yeah, last week I was really annoyed and I was like, man, I really, really need to start focusing not on taking R or whatever, but not making mistakes. That's gonna be like the most important thing. If I miss a win or anything, big deal. Like I'm just gonna take less of the trades that I'm supposed to take. But the main goal is to just not take the trades I'm not supposed to take. It's like in chess, like usually the person who wins is well, the person who loses is the one who makes the blunder, right? So yeah, it's all about not blundering. It was a long talk about mistakes, but I think it's very important. So I can already tell by having this many trades that there are probably going to be some mistakes, and it's fine. It's all right. Like I will be making mistakes as long as it's manageable. As long as let's say it's only 20% of all the trades, I think it's still good. But still, I'm gonna try for perfection, of course, and not take any. Anyway, this week was a lot of trades, man. Lots of trades, and I thought about it a little bit, like why is that? And actually, like quite a few assets got into very good context. I do have a couple of crypto trades as well, like individual crypto trades, because well, Bitcoin is in good context, and with that, that gives space to beta plays, right? It's the same relationship as an index, stock index, and individual stocks. And most importantly, as things get into good context, right, on the super low time frames that I'm trading, like the 10-second and the 1 minute, I will be getting entries. And I actually had a couple of days last week that were very hectic, and I had to like be present the entire session and paying attention to stuff, you know. And that's quite of different from what I've had in the last couple of months, almost during tariff season, I would call it. And I actually love this about this job because there's going to be so many days where I can just take a look in the morning and be like, yeah, there's nothing to trade here. Like everything looks shit, and I can just go on and enjoy my day, do whatever the heck I want to. But then there are days when it's super busy, and I just have to be present because price is moving. And I really love that. Like I enjoyed that session a lot. It was a bit stressful because I could definitely feel decision fatigue at towards the end. I already took so many trades that day. I think like 7 or 8. Yeah, it becomes harder the more trades I take. But yeah, anyway, let's actually get into like I'm rambling on for quite a few minutes here already. 6 minutes, damn. Let's get into the trades. So as always, I'm gonna start with last week. So I took some nice crypto trades that look like Anton stock trades, yep, and gold trades were good. And I also traded NAS where I wasn't really supposed to because, well, the context here was quite crap, which I would agree with. So I started to pay more attention to the 4 hour and 1 day. I really made it a definitive rule of my system where I want one of those higher time frames to be in good trending context. And if it isn't, then I'm not going to trade it. And this one, I don't like this one whatsoever. Looks like stage one. And there was one trade that I was supposed to take. Ah, yeah, I see. Yeah, it's these trades that go up, right? Then they reaccumulate, start going a little bit, and return to that demand zone, and from there give a DMB. That's like the last area where I'm willing to trade a reaccumulation. If this fails down and then sets up again or whatnot, I'm not going to trade it anymore. So this has become like a rule of mine as well to know how long am I willing to trade a reaccumulation until I call it invalidated. So yeah, that's kind of nice. And overall, my results were -2. Okay. So let's get into this week. As always, I covered this up so that I cannot see the results and hopefully not going to have any bias. I also created this new view called just for weekly batch analysis. Wait, 1 second. 1 second. This week, yeah, weekly batch analysis, that's what I wanted. And I actually wanted to hide these for the batch analysis. Yep, there we go. So that I cannot see the results and I can get into that. So let's get in here. I can already see I'm going to be pissed off at myself because, well, I marked it up as a mistake. Man, the first trade of the week is always the most rough, I feel like. Very often there are mistakes for me. Anyway, so last week, US 100 or NAS 100, I wasn't willing to trade it because, well, it was still stuck in this whole area over here. Let me make this smaller. Yeah, it was stuck in this area over here where, although it already broke out, I really want to see it break out again and have the DMB, right? And then I'm willing to trade all the way over here. Then it pulls back and starts building up again, and I'm willing to trade over here. So this time, context on NAS 100 is really good for me. And then I went down to the 6 minutes to see what's up. Like here we're clearly in a momentum cycle, right? And whatever flush there was, like this was the flush, it created a stage one and it started moving higher in a momentum cycle. But looking at the momentum cycle, it's ugly as fuck. Like this kind of price action, it's ugly. And I wasn't trading anything here, anything whatsoever. Like I wasn't interested. And all of a sudden, just because there's a big move, I'm supposed to be interested. Like, hello? That doesn't make any sense. Like, this is what in crypto they call it blow off top. It's this pattern where after an extended trend, after an extended trend, there's like a big final move, and usually those are the blow off tops. It's just like the final seek of liquidity. How high can they sell it to you? And then there's a dump, right? Of course, it doesn't work always, but that's like the general understanding of the pattern. And I tend to apply that for exactly these kind of trends where they are ugly, 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 and all of a sudden there's a big move. I should not have traded this. This was garbage. But anyway, looking at the 1 minute, so here's the big impulse coming in, right? And that impulse pulls back into the rising 1020. Impulse looks pretty good. Area looks pretty good. in itself. And then here's the trade. So this is a stage 2. Honestly, it's quite a bit wiki. It's not the worst, but it's quite wiki. And then loses momentum cycle and creates the first possible setup, right, which I'm valid to trade. So the entry itself was all right, but unfortunately, the validation here was really, really bad, the 6 minutes. So let's label all of this up. So this was definitely good context. Nothing wrong with trading NAS 100 here. Here, this was, well, how am I supposed to call this? Man, I feel like I so rarely call a validation ugly that I usually just write good momentum here. But yeah, what is this? I don't know, just blow off top, I guess. Ugly. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna call it. Here, this stuff was actually legit. This was good. Good momentum here, definitely. And this was a good entry. I'm not gonna call it perfect. I'm gonna call it good. Good. Perfect because, well, it's, whoa, what happened? Because it's a little bit wiki. A little bit wiki. Okay. So, let's get into the trade here. You know, I'm just gonna call this from now on context. It's gonna be better. Alright. Context was good. Oh my. Gonna have to change this. Alright. Alright, cool. So, good context. The 6 minute was, well, very, very ugly. And it was ugly. Why? I don't have this one here yet, I think. So, blow off top, like that? I guess so. So, let's make that red. Yeah, definitely don't want to trade this kind of price action, that's for sure. 1 minute was decent, good momentum. 10-second the entry was good, and it was not the best because it was wiki. All right. And management-wise, there was absolutely nothing to do here because it taps me in and instantly fucks me up. So perfect. And here I write, I was working out before New York opened and got to the PC just as New York opened. Saw this setting up, so I quickly took it without properly consulting all time frames. The 6 minutes was garbage. I see. Yep. Well, that makes sense. So gonna call this a mistake. Blow off top. Boom. Yep. All right. And I think that is all. Yep, that's all. So overall, it's a mistake. Cool. Moving on. Now, I actually want to do this inside my weekly thingy. Yeah, okay. I'm here. Nice. So that was this. Ah, I see. That's why I didn't want to do my weekly batch analysis here. It's actually because of this. Well, I do want to read my reflections here at the end of the day. So maybe I should just remove the results or whatnot. I'm gonna have to work on that a little bit later, I guess. But I can see it here that like, okay, after this, it's the end of the day and I can go and read the reflection. Yeah, that makes sense. So let's go to the next trade. So next trade is a gold trade, right? Why does it show NAS here? That's very weird. So NAS, gold. Oh, this is a trade that I didn't take. I see. Did I actually include it? Let me see. Is it this one? Nope, that's not this one. Is it this one? Yep, it's this one. Okay, so I guess these two should actually be, yeah, they should be like this. Ugh. All right, one sec. Sorry about that. I have to move this whole thing, I guess. To move this whole thing. All right, and put this here. Cool. So we are on this trade. Same context as before, right? Nothing much has changed. We're on the 60-minute here, and it's moving higher. Yep. And wow, what? What? I mean, I'm calling it a blow off top over here already, and I'm not willing to trade it, and then I'm trading it here? What? Bro, it's the same mistake. Oh no. Oh no, the shenanigans. Oh well, whatever. So yeah, that's definitely like I don't like the 6 minute at all. Should not have traded here. I should have just waited for a completely new start of a fresh momentum cycle. Anyway, here we are in the 1 minute, right? I think the previous entry was somewhere over here. So technically, if this is a new momentum cycle, yes, it's valid to trade over here because it's MMB2, right? So this is looking quite nice. But honestly, even looking at the 1 minute here, it's quite wicky, I have to say. Like the momentum itself is good. So good momentum here. But it's wicky. Oh my God, what happened again? All right, it's wicky. So it comes as no surprise that here on the 10 second, oh, I didn't take this. Good, good. I didn't. Oof. Because I was like, no way, man. No way did I make that mistake. Because even like looking here at the 10 second, at the actual entry, like entering here from this stage two is much stronger than this stage two. This stage two is choppy and ugly as fuck. Like, yes, it does have some pops away, but in general, it's just and that also translates into the wickiness on the 1 minute, right? It's not as strong. The entry itself, like once it flushes, the entry makes a lot of sense, right? But in general, I would say this was weak preceding stage two. So weak stage two, and it's also wicky. So overall, I would call this, well, should have called this a mistake, right? Boop, mistake. I'm gonna call this one a mistake too, and it's good that I didn't take it. So that's that. What do I write here? Didn't take this because the preceding stage two looked kind of weak. Yep. But this is how I would manage. So that would tap me in, right? I would reduce risk here. After it breaks the fractal structure, it's risk free, and then it runs to +5. Yep, that's unfortunate. It's a win, but doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to uh, adjust my rules to be able to take these kind of trades. They usually don't work for me. So yeah, context was good. 6 minute was ugly because low of top and overextended. And 1 minute was, well, questionable because it was very wicky. And 10 second itself was also questionable because it was wicky. So management wise, it would be perfect though. So overall, it's a mistake. And it's a mistake. Why? Because it's weak and because it's wicky. Yep. All right. Moving on to gold. This is still the same day. So here we have gold, right? New thing, new context. So strong stage two previously, right? And starts reaccumulating pretty clearly. Lows liquidated, right? This is clear as day that we are in reaccumulation. And then my expectation here would be that it just goes up pretty strongly, but instead it goes here, respects this level, creating a resistance for me, and now it's in stage one. And now I'm just waiting for this to break out. And as it's breaking out, I will take a look at the lower time frame, and if it's on strong momentum and all that jazz, I am willing to trade it. So here we are, gold on the 6 minute, right? Some kind of stage one over here breaks out, and here we have MMB1, and this is the creation of MMB2. Honestly, like this is a little bit far, I would say. I would love to see this pull back before I actually trade it because this looks like it's printed quite a bit already. Let's see it on the 1 minute. Okay, so this is the MMB, and here we have MMB1. Boom. Well, and this looks like MMB2, honestly. So actually, I think this was valid to trade because, well, I'm mostly looking at the actual momentum cycle and not so much how it looks on the C, so to say, because this is a 10-second trade, right? So the 6-minute is a C. And we have Cs looking like this very, very often. So this is actually quite okay. Like looking at it separately, if this was, let's say, the V, I would probably not trade it. But if it's a C, that's okay because the V can still be very strong. And here we are on the V, right? Pulling back into the rising 1020. This, in my opinion, looks very good. Yep, it looks like an MMB2 and it's a nice one. And here's a 10-second, right? Very strong stage 2, very strong. I like that a lot. Reaccumulate, and here it prints the most beautiful, beautiful DMB ever. I love this entry. It's so nice. So overall, I kind of like it. So here I'm definitely going to say good context because why? It's a stage 1 breakout. Which is one of the setups that I love to trade on the higher time frames. I would not trade this on the V, by the way. I wouldn't, but I will trade it on the C. So here we have what? Good momentum for sure. Yep, potentially overextended, but it actually isn't. Looks pretty good. Instead of drawing it, I'm gonna make it nicer. One sec. Boom. Make that white and dotted. Thank you. And, well, like this, right? Okay. And here we are. This is, yep, looks like MMB2 indeed, and is happening on very, very good momentum. And this is a perfect, perfect entry. Love it. Okay, there we go. So if I label all of this up, I think this is all good, right? Good momentum, good momentum, good entry. So, and management-wise, oh, it's a -1. It's a -1. Okay, so there's nothing to do. So management-wise, that was perfect. And overall, I think that was a perfect trade. Again, I'm not going to look at the result. I'm going to look at the cleanliness of the setup itself and the rules. If I always have to ask myself at the end of every analysis, if I could take this trade right now, would I take it or no? And I would definitely take this trade. So, yep, that's that. All right, moving on. Oh, wait, perfect. Yeah, that's cool. There is another gold trade. So let's check out that one. Yeah, just gonna write perfect here. Perfect. There we go. So here we are. I zoomed into the 60-minute right now a little bit, I guess. And well, this is breaking out, right? Hello? Okay. This is breaking out. So this is, I can just do it like this. It's the same context. And here we are on the 6 minute. Well, actually, let's go to the 1 minute. So previously we had this happening. Now we had this happening where it pulled back a little bit deeper. Still reaccumulation, still respecting the EMA, still in a momentum cycle, right? So I'm more than happy to look for a trade over here. And what happens? So we have our reaccumulation, right? And from here we have a DMB. So this would be MB1 and this is MB2. Yep, I really like this one. This is a nice trade. This looks good. If I remember correctly, I used to mark up the MBs. Yeah, I used to do that. I'm wondering if I still need to do it or not. I guess I can. I guess I can. Why not? It's been serving me well, so I'm gonna do it. Uh-huh. Marking them up just to see if they are like similarly sized. That's most important to me. Yeah, looking good. So here, that's MB1. That's MB2. I would say looks very, very nice. So overall, this is good momentum, and perfect entry. So it's another perfect trade on gold. I love it. It's good. Good context. What is this? Good momentum, good momentum, good entry. Management-wise, that also just taps me in and gives me a -1. Well, that's unfortunate, but you know, that happens. Happened to me many times before, and it will happen many, many more times again. This is a good loss. Even if it's two losses in a row, which can be demoralizing, it is what it is. It's good. Okay. And that was all of Monday. So I just want to see the reflection. Meh, what a shitty session. I think I traded the right assets in good high time frame contact, but perhaps I could have waited for better V's. I then didn't take two setups because they weren't very clean and they ended up both delivering. That kind of sucks. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was the one NAS 100 setup that was suboptimal for me, so I didn't take it. And then there was one more. I didn't even record it. That was also on gold, and it wasn't very pretty. But I just marked it up, and it ended up running. And yeah, that's a bit demoralizing because you're like, man, I take the right setups, right? I clean up the ones that don't deliver and liquidate me. And then once there's new setups that are ugly and much weaker, they end up delivering. And you're just like, meh, that sucks. But yeah, it was a minus 3.6 day. Eh, yeah, that sucks. I remember I wasn't very happy about that. But I have to also realize that I actually took one mistake, which was the NAS 100 trade. So normally, it was definitely supposed to be a minus 2.4 day, which is just two mistakes. I mean, sorry, two losses, and that's totally fine. And even this is fine, you know? Like, I thought about this a little bit in more, like, concrete ideas, and minus 3.6 for me would be, well, less than 1% lost, right? 1% of equity. And if I think about it, like, when I come to the market and I have three trades on the day, and I end up the day in minus 1%, I think that's completely fine. Like going forward, that's actually something that I want to normalize. I think it's completely, completely fine to take minus 1% of your equity on any given day. So actually, not too bad. Just that one mistake sucked a little bit. All right, so moving on to Tuesday, I have quite a few trades on Tuesday, and it's all on GU and EU. Okay, cool. So let's check them out. I'm gonna drink a little bit though. Nice. All right. So here we are, GU. So GU very very similar to what happened here on gold, right? On the 1 hour. It's pretty much the same context, you could say. It's just that I used the even higher time frame here. Well, gold was already in a good higher time frame, so I could use a 60 for a context. And here it's the daily, right? I have not been trading GU for a long ass time. Maybe I traded a little bit over here, I think, and maybe no, probably not over here, honestly. Just here, and I can see some thingies here. So yeah, I probably traded here. And once it created this resistance, I was like, nope, this is my stage one, right? All of this is probably some kind of range shenanigans. I'm not gonna get involved. And then as it's breaking out over here, just like as gold was breaking out over here, I go to the lower time frame. I analyze this trend, this push, and see if it's strong enough. And if it is, I'm happy to trade it with the expectation of continuation. So here I am on the 6 minute, and I can see a nice trend. Nice stage two overall, and then we have this that comes back into this demand zone, loses its momentum cycle, right? So instantly, I assume this is going to be a reaccumulation. Comes back, starts like creates a stage one over here. I would say I can see that on the 1 minute here. I would say this whole thing is a stage one, or well, if you look at it from a Wyckoff schematic perspective, right? Like this would be the sign of strength, this would be the return, and some kind of I don't know, like STB spring, whatever. It doesn't liquidate this stuff, but it doesn't always have to. Like this, the selling climax can be the lowest part. But yeah, anyway, this whole thing would be a Wyckoff schematic. And then it breaks out over here and it pulls back into the rising 1020, starting what I would expect to be a markup. And that's exactly where I want to trade, right? This is very, very strong, pulls back into the rising 1020, all EMA start rising. Yep, I really like this one. I really like this context over here, or well, this validation. And here we are on the 10 seconds, so yep, this stage 2, very, very strong. Then it flushes out, some lows get liquidated, right? And as it flushes out, it creates a beautiful, absolutely beautiful EMB. Very strong, shallow pullback, all EMA start rising. This is perfect. This is exactly what I like to see. So yeah, this is good context. and stage 1 breakout. Here we have, what do we have here? Well, this is also a context, you know. It's not EVVC, it's EVCC, I guess. Well, not like it really matters, but overall this is good context and it's good momentum. Okay, this is good momentum for sure. And it's, well, it's also a stage 1 breakout. And here, as it pulls back into the rising 1020, we have ourselves a perfect entry. Perfect entry. All right, so overall, I'm going to rate this trade as perfect. By the way, what was this trade? Was this trade perfect too? Yep, it was. All right, cool. So let's go over here, see what happened. Been patiently waiting for GU for a while now. It finally looks ripe. So here it goes a little bit higher. I don't feel confident breaking even just yet. And as it breaks its fractal structure, I move to risk free. And pretty much right after it comes back to break even. So yep, that was a break even, but I think it was perfect. So let me just fill all of this out. Perfect. Completely perfect. Nice. Okay. Moving on to the next trade, which is an EU trade. So no surprise that when EU is good, GU is usually going to be good as well. And even the context looks very, very similar, right? So here, I was definitely looking for trades over here. And I think as it reaccumulated, I also started to look for trades over here after the DMB on the higher time frame, and I looked for a little bit of stuff over here, but then eventually it got choppy, and after a while I deemed this to be a stage 1 and I didn't trade anything here. It looks like maybe I traded here a little bit, like probably thinking that it's breaking out of here, but yeah, I wonder if I could like very quickly go back to see if I rated that as a mistake or not. Well, doesn't really matter because these days I would really only start trading exactly here once it starts breaking out. So I'm going to take a look at what this push looks like on the lower time frame. So here looks very similar to GU, right? This is push 1, reaccumulation, push 2, reaccumulation, and now it's moving higher from MMB2. So this is most definitely not overextended and it looks good, right? Big momentum, new momentum cycle, MMB1. I want to trade in here. So here I am on 1 minute. Looks like it's a 1 minute entry. Okay, strong stage 2, pulls back. Oh, I see what type of entry this is. I see. And here I'm pretty much playing the ICI inside of the MMB. So I'm pretty much looking at this. Right, but in order for that to happen, there needs to be a reaccumulation. Otherwise, I'm not valid to do that. So let's take a look on the 10-second if there was. So here's the flush out, right? The lowest level of the sell-off, and here it goes higher, and here it liquidates some low. Okay, so I see what I'm doing here, but honestly, this entry kind of sucks. Like, I think I got a little bit too zoomed in into like making the entry work rather than seeing if it actually works or not. This is this is forced. That's the right word. This is a forced entry. I just really wanted to get into it, so I was like, yes, if there is like a strong push with a reaccumulation, I can take it. And I focused a bit too much on the reaccumulation part and forgot about the strong push part. And really, if I take a look at this, this is kind of ugly. Like if anything, the entry should have been this one, I guess, because that's the actual DMB. Because now it's already MB. So MB1, MB2, this is MB3. Yeah, this is like MB4. This is an MB4 entry. You know, this is horrible. MB4 entry. Yeah. So anyway, this is very good context on state. Whoa, what? No, made a mistake. Doesn't matter. This is good context, and it's a stage 1 breakout. This is also good context with very good momentum. This is most definitely good momentum. It was okay to look for an entry here, but the entry itself is ugly. Ugly entry. It's a MB4 entry, and it's forced. I should not have taken it. I would not have taken it. So, mistake. There we go. And let's see if this ends up being the winner, man. No, it's a break even. All right, so EU, just like GU, just became interesting, reaching out of a long-lasting daily state fun. Yes. So I get in. Here wasn't enough for me to get out yet. There's an argument to be made that maybe I could have, but I didn't. And then as it falls down here, like this did everything it had to continue going, right? And as it falls down here, I try my luck and I set my TP to 0, and I get out for a break even. Okay, and here, not gonna lie, I did get a little bit emotional when I saw this delivering. Didn't reach TP and got back to BE. Oh, I see, I see. Yeah, yeah, because I continued watching it, right? Because I got out at TP 0, so it's a break even, but then it started going and it almost went to 5R, and yeah, I was getting a little bit emotional. But I didn't. Hopefully, I didn't let that affect my my performance that day because there's still a few more trades. But yeah, break even. So overall, let me mark it up. So this is all good. Yeah, it's all good except for the entry. Good momentum. Ugly entry. Do I have forced here? I don't, so let's add it. I'm gonna have to do something about this section with some color coding and whatnot and some grouping because it's a bit all over the place and some of these I don't even use anymore. That's gonna be my next refinement for this. So tax, it was a mistake, and it was a mistake because, well, I forced it. And it's an ugly entry. Yep. So that's that. Moving on, we got another EU trade. Let's check it out. So EU, it's going to be the exact same context, right? Here I just stepped to the 6 minute to also see the trend, right? It's MB1, MB2, MB3, yeah, like, I don't know. I think this could still go. Like, maybe it's a bit overextended, but I don't think so. Anyway, here we are in the 6 minute, right? I even marked up the MBs over here. Well, this went all the way here. And so this was the previous pause, definitely. From there, we had a momentum cycle, and now this is another pause. This is most definitely a reaccumulation, and now it's breaking higher into a new range. And of course, I'm expecting something like this. So if I go to the 1 minute, what do I have? Well, I would say probably all of this is state 1. So this would be MB1, MB2, and this would be MMB1 or MMB2. Yeah, this is MMB2, most likely. So definitely a valid place to trade. So let's take a look at the 10-second over here. Very strong stage 2, which qualifies me to trade this. Then it flushes out, right? Because here, this, I don't know, this really wasn't much of a reaccumulation for me, to be honest. Yeah, this was like, what did this really liquidate? Like, it's not much of a reset, but then it liquidates all of this stuff, and here I'm very, very happy to jump on new fresh momentum. And here we have very strong MB1 validation, pulls back, stays a little bit longer here than I would like, but well, let's see what it looks like when it taps me in, because this is like probably the last moment where I would be willing to take the entry, but if it dips below again, I would not take it. So let's check how I manage this. So yep, it taps me in here, so that's completely valid. That's fine. Yeah, I don't mind that. So let me mark up the MBs. So that would be MB1, and this would be MB2, which is fine. I didn't mark it up over here. Well, I won't because it was ugly as fuck. Uh, Here, well, I should mark this up. All right, all right. So there we go. And well, I'm gonna rate it right now. So I already know that the context is good. I like the context very much. This is good momentum for sure. This is good momentum, and this is, in my opinion, a perfect entry. Perfect entry. All right, and ooh, okay, and in that case, I'm going to call it perfect. Gonna decide on that before I see the result. So let's see the result. So here, After these candles, I went to risk-free. Makes sense. That's more than enough strength. And then it comes back to break-even. Okay, so it's a break-even. Cool, cool. Let's mark all of this up. And that's a perfect trade. Okay, and I have two more trades actually. Wow, and one that I didn't take. Cool. So let's check it out. Another trade on EU. So exactly the same context, right? Nothing much to write here. Ooh, what's this? Right, there we go. Now, where are we over here? So we just reaccumulated, right, and we broke into a new range. This would be MMB1 for me, most definitely, and now it's moving higher, expecting MMB2, maybe even MMB3. So this is by no means overextended. This is great, good momentum. Here we are on the 1 minute, right? This is the previous trade that I took? Not entirely sure. Is it? Is it? Nope, it isn't. It isn't. Doesn't matter. I don't know what this is. Doesn't matter. So here we had this strong stage 2, breaks down for a reaccumulation, breaks into a new range, right? This is already a stage 1, so this breaks out on very, very strong momentum and pulls back into the rising 1020 for an MMB1. That's perfect. Absolutely beautiful. Here, very strong stage 2. Very strong. Lovely. I love to see this one. Like big, big candles in my direction. Shallow pullbacks, which is already like defined by respecting the rising 1020, right? Because anything like below are the deeper pullbacks. And very like rather uh, small cell candles against my direction, right? I love it. And then suddenly it breaks down here. Some lows start getting liquidated, clearly a reaccumulation. And from there, strong MB1 validation. Here, lower low, beautiful. That makes it a valid MMB for me. And this is an entry. So this is a perfect entry. I love this trade. This trade is so, so good. So good momentum, and perfect entry. There we go, making this a perfect trade. So let's see how I managed. So here it went a little bit in my direction, but not quite. So I was still with full risk on, and as it breaks out with this nice candle, I reduce risk. And whoa, yeah, this one, this one really comes back to tickle my balls a little bit. I thought it's another break even, and I wonder if it would be like on Mint Funding, but probably not. I'm not sure, but either way, yeah, doesn't tap me out and delivers to +5. So beautiful, nice, perfect trade. Mm, yep. All right, and then there is one more trade on EU that I did not take this time. Okay, so let's see. Why did I not take this? So the context is the same, right? Let's, well, I guess let's see the 6 minute. That's going to tell us the story. So here we had MMB1 that broke higher, and now we have MMB. I would call this whole thing MMB2. So most definitely a good area to trade. And then what do we have? We have this stage 2 over here. It's all right. It's all right. It's a little bit wicky, like especially over here, but actually it's quite wicky. It's quite wicky. But anyway, reaccumulates, right? Starts going over here. This is one of those setups, right? I call this the last moment setup or whatever, where there is where it's the reaccumulation starts going, but then it has a deep pullback, and as long as it respects this lowest level, comes into demand and does something like this, I'm very much willing to take it. It can either like liquidate this level and do this stuff, because that would just mean this is a spring and I'm expecting that in this area. It could also like set up immediately above here and not touching the demand zone. It's all completely fine. So as long as this level is respected, I'm willing to trade it. So that's why I can see why I would consider this trade, because here this is like the last area, and I guess it's kind of fine. Like the EMA starts rising, the 50 is a little bit flat. Would be nicer if it was rising already, but yeah, I understand this trade. The one thing that I don't like too much, oh yeah, here I even showed a 10-second, making sure that this MB is an actual reaccumulation, which it is. So here's the ultimate question, right? If I could take this trade right now, would I take it or not? Hmm. You know what? I'm gonna say yes because I think this is good. Like all the way from the context, yes, this is good. I would have taken this trade if I could right now. So yeah, this is good momentum. Boom. Uh, and this is a good entry. It would be perfect. Like if this was actually like impulsive, that would make it perfect, right? I call it good mostly because of how wiki it got over here. But then like here, it's no longer wiki and the setup looks pretty clean. So that's why I call it a good entry. So overall, I'm going to call it good. And I will take it again. So let's see what this ends up being. It ends up being a win. Nice. So this happened after my session, but was 100% valid. All right, so I didn't take it because I ended my session. Ah, that's unfortunate. What time was this? 17:50. I see. I was on a walk at that time. All right. Well, makes sense. But yeah, this is how I would have managed. I would have taken this. I mean, yeah, I would have taken this, but I would have reduced risk on the second strong candle, and that goes very, very quickly to +5. And maybe there were even some 10-second trades inside here. I don't know. I didn't check, but yeah, this was beautiful. So overall, very, very nice. 10-second, good entry. Well, actually, there is no 10-second. It's the 1 minute. 1 minute is a good entry, but I am going to say that it was a little bit wiki, which makes this trade good, and it's not a mistake. All right, it's not a mistake that I didn't take it because I ended my session. That's a completely valid reason. Like, nothing wrong with that. Okay, so that concludes Tuesday. I want to go to Tuesday over here and see if I wrote anything. So these are all the trades. There were some news I see, and I didn't really write any reflection. Okay, cool. So moving on, we got, oh shit, that's a lot of trades on September 18th. So I guess this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So this is Thursday, okay, and no trades on Friday. Makes sense. So Thursday, I traded NAS 100 almost exclusively and one crypto trade. Cool. I need to go to the toilet real quick. All right, I'm back. So this is all going to be NAS 100, so that's going to make it easy for the upcoming trades because I can just skip the context overall. So let's pay attention to the context right now and see what is actually going on here. So I know that on the daily, weekly, and everything, NAS 100 is very bullish, right? And then it breaks down over here for a reaccumulation. The moment it fails over here, I mark it up as a stage 1 and I wait for a breakout. You see, I already traded here, but actually, like, those were the mistakes from last week that I was not supposed to trade. I would have actually preferred trading over here, trading over here, over here, over here, which I did, right? Those are the areas where I want to trade. So we have an ongoing momentum cycle, very nice, very strong, and then there is a big, big flush out, right? Clearly a reaccumulation. So it's fueled. for continuation, and here we are breaking into a new high. My expectation here is this. Okay, so the context is absolutely beautiful. That I'm happy with that because that means that the upcoming 7 trades on NAS 100 are not going to be in bad context, because if they were, that would mean I took 7 mistakes. That would be horrible. Just think about that. So it's so important that my high time frame makes sense to me. And this is a trending market with strength behind it. Yes, this makes sense to me. So let's take a look at the 6 minute. What am I working with, right? So I have some kind of trend over here that's going up, beautiful, flushes out, very nice, and then starts building itself up again. And here, this is probably some kind of stage 1. This is MMB1. Now it's going to be forming MMB2. The expectation here is quite strong continuation. Like, this is beautiful context. This is exactly where I want to trade. Now I'm going to take a look at the 1 minute. So I have this stage 2 over here that flushes out for a reset, right? And here, a new momentum cycle emerges. And I would say this is MMB1 and this is MMB2, which are perfect areas for me to trade. So yeah, very, very happy with where I am contextually here. The story makes a lot of sense. So this is MB2. Nice. And here I am on the 10 seconds, so let's take a look. So big strong stage 2, looking beautiful, beautiful strong trend, flushes out, and a new beautiful trend emerges. And as this beautiful trend reaccumulates, I'm looking for a DMB, and it reaccumulates here, of course, liquidates some stuff, beautiful, exactly what I want to see. Big strong stage 2 over here, reaccumulation. It is a reaccumulation because this wick liquidates some low, so makes this a completely valid MB for me to trade, and that's why I take this entry. So already I love this trade. I really do. I think it's perfect. So here, good context. That's all I'm going to say about that. No need to say anything more. And here, what do we have? Well, we have a trending market on good momentum. Same here, we have a trending market on, oh my god, trending market on good momentum. All right, and here I would say this was a perfect entry. So overall, I'm going to rate this trade as perfect. Okay, let's take a look how I managed this. NAS 100. Okay, is that it? Yep, that's it. I get tapped in. I immediately think, okay, it's a loss. What can you do? And then on, well, here it's still like not enough strength, not enough strength. Actually, like, yeah, I reduced risk quite a bit late here. I could have reduced risk already, and I should have the moment that it liquidated this level over here. That's when I should have been risk-free. But yeah, I understand why I did this. So yeah, here, clearly, if this comes back, I want nothing to do with it. And here, I actually reduced risk twice, of course. I reduced risk twice here. Yeah, reduced risk to this level, which is the intended entry. And thanks to that rule, it actually keeps me in. Because here, those few additional ticks that are there, like if I move to complete risk-free with spread, it would tap me out. But because of that, I still had like 0. I don't know what it was, 0.1, 0.15 R risk on this. And that kept me in the trade, and it delivers to +5. Beautiful. Beautiful. Very nice. All was good here, including management. So perfect trade. Well-deserved win. Thank you. So moving on, we got some kind of crypto trade. Let's check it out. So this is AVAX. So when it comes to cryptos, I pay attention to mostly the daily, and sometimes I check the weekly as well, right? So here, what do we have on, what is this? Yeah, we have some big stage 1, right? And it starts breaking out. And the best part is it breaks out, it reaccumulates. You can see that, right? Some lows get liquidated, and it moves higher, confirming this to be a reaccumulation, an MMB, and well, I rule out redistribution this way, right? Because my expectation until this is this, right? But here, that's enough strength for me, confirms for me that it's time to follow. And here I am on the 60-minute. So what happens is, so we have this move over here that reaccumulates. Here I expect it to go, but the moment it fails again, that's when I draw this. and I wait for a breakout. And here it breaks out very strongly and pulls back into the rising 1020. Perfect. So here I am on the 5-minute, very, very strong stage 2. That starts reaccumulating. That's pretty clear. Lows liquidated, and then strong stage 2. Lots of imbalance left behind. EMA start rising, all of that jazz. Starts going sideways. Here, a little bit of liquidity grab. Love it. This was a perfect entry. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so good context. Yep, if I could take this trade again, I would take it anytime. Anytime. So nice. Good momentum and perfect entry. Excuse me, can I somehow match it? Thank you. Perfect entry. Nice. So I'm gonna give this trade a perfect. So let's see how that goes. This is going on for too long, setting TP to 0. Okay, yep, makes sense. Like, this should have went pretty much over here. That was the last spot where it should go. And then as it goes sideways for longer, I was just like, no, this is taking way too long. Setting TP to 0, and it gives me a way to get out. And I remember, like, right after this, it collapses anyway. So, perfect management got me out without taking loss. So nice, man. Love these rules. Good entry. 10-second, nothing. So overall, this was a perfect trade. And yeah, that's a BE. Nice. Feel like I'm forgetting something. Is that all? Yep, that's all. Okay. So moving on, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more NAS trades. Holy shit. All right, let's go for it. So here is a trade I did not take. Okay, let's see why. So we already know what happened. We already know that NAS is in a good context, right? So here, after it breaks higher, this was MMB1. This is now moving higher. So whatever happens here, I want to follow it. Makes sense. 6 minute, beautiful stage 2. This was the previous trade. Now it pulls back. If this was MMB1, then this would be MMB2. Perfect area to trade once again. And here we are on 1 minute. Strong stage 2. I kind of like it. And here it breaks down like pretty clear reaccumulation. Lowest point of the sell-off comes higher, returns back to demand zone, and from here it prints the DMB. I like this entry. I do. Like, maybe it's not perfect, like a little bit wiki, maybe. Nah, not really. Not really. Like, looking at this entire move, this is looking super nice. And if I could, I would take this trade for sure. So I should have taken this. Yeah, let's just see what I wrote here and how I managed. So I didn't pay attention. Okay, I see. I didn't take. So here I would reduce risk. Yep, that's 2 strong candles with imbalance left behind in my direction. Perfectly fine. This is where I would reduce risk completely because, well, it created a fractal structure. And right after that, it comes back to BE. So this was 100% a valid setup, and I should have taken it. Was watching UFC Contender Series highlights. Yeah, that was stupid. That was a bit stupid. Yeah, I should have definitely taken this. So all of this was good. That was a 1 minute entry. Yes, it was a 1 minute entry. Okay, management perfect as well. So yeah, ultimately I have to write this as a mistake because I didn't take it, right? Yeah. So the trade itself was perfect though. So good context. Okay. Good momentum. And well, I'm gonna call it perfect. This was completely fine. Perfect entry. Um by the way, forgot once again. Wow, no, please. No. Why would you do that? Alright. 1, 2. Looks pretty nice. And here probably 1 and 2. Yep, that looks very nice as well. So, mistake. Okay. Moving on to the next trade. Next trade. Here we go. And it's a NAS 100 trade. So same context exactly, right? So let's look at the 6 minute what's changed. So here I'm assuming an MMB, and that's still the case. I'm assuming the MMB over here as well. So what happens on the 1 minute? So let me see. Okay, so this was the first entry over here, and that comes back. And from here, I'm looking for this, right? Yes, but this is too late. This is too late. Like I wrote it just recently, like when I have this impulse and I have the reaccumulation, and then it starts going but fails. This is my lowest level, right? And there's a demand zone. And the moment it comes back, the moment like there's some sell-off and some kind of reaccumulation again, that's when it needs to go on that next impulse, right? And that next impulse was here. This should have done this, and that would be my last possible setup. But this failed that last possible setup and then set up again, and that's already too late. I do not want to trade this kind of stuff. This is too late for me. So yeah, that's how I'm going to ultimately approach it. So good context over here, definitely good momentum over here as well. And you can see, like, yes, we are still above the rising EMAs and everything, making this a valid momentum cycle. But to me, I already deem this to be a stage 1. And now, after this fails over here, my game plan is to wait for a breakout into a new range and an MMB. And within this MMB, I can trade, right? So, yeah, bad entry. And I'm going to say here, too late. Too late. With this explanation over here. And I'm immediately also, so I don't forget it, I'm immediately going to take a screenshot over here. And I'm going to put it into this part, into the what went bad part. Took one trade that was too late. All right, and I'm gonna put it here so that I can see it. Nice. All right, so let me get back here. So yeah, ultimately I'm calling this a mistake. So let's see what this was. Okay, was -1. So here, taps me in, right, and pretty much instantly starts dying off, like no momentum, absolute fizzle town, horrible. So I set TP to 0, hoping I could get out, but I can't. So yeah, this was a bad trade, unfortunately. Yeah. So basically what I'm doing here, right, is if there is this thingy where it doesn't go immediately, like right here, which it should, I give it a chance to come back to the demand zone for one final mitigation and from there have a strong reaction, right? This needs to be a strong reaction for me to take it. That is my rule of the last valid trade. And yeah, here it wasn't. So how do I'm going to have to create some new stuff, I think. Was this a 1 minute entry? Yes. So ugly entry Y. Too late. I have too early, I have too late. All right, too late. Management, there was nothing really to do. So overall, that was a mistake. Mistake Y, ugly entry because too late. I have too early here too. Yeah, too late. Beautiful. Okay, red. Where is too early? Here. Let's put too late here. Nice. So that was most definitely an avoidable loss. Okay, moving on. Another NAS 100 trade. And we are over here. So I didn't take this. Let's see. So is this the same stuff? Yes, it is. So here, cool. The V, right? Here it breaks down for reaccumulation. My immediate expectation is that somewhere over here there's going to be a stage 1, and as this breaks out, I should be able to trade it, right? So here I am on the 1 minute. So this is like some kind of stage 1 over here. Then it falls down. So this is distribution, and here I would immediately expect accumulation into strong breakout that does this. And I did not take this, and I think it was the right decision because this whole thing was weird. First of all, this was a news scandal. Okay, this was on news. I think we can see, yeah, 13 o'clock. That was some kind of news. And that looks very inconsistent. And it pumps into this thingy and liquidates the high. If it pumped like over here, I would probably take the setup. But this was a bit too much. Here it reaccumulates. Yes, some lows liquidated. That's nice. Making this a valid MB. But if anything, if I wanted to trade this, I should probably trade it as a 1 minute entry over here. I do not like trading inside of here. And here, yep, this is the strong thingy, and here reaccumulation, strong reignition, and some weird ass looking MB. Very weird ass looking. So this looks very different from what my usual entries look like, so I decided not to take it. And here's the ultimate question. Before I see if it was a win, loss, or whatnot, would I take this entry again? And the answer is no. No, I wouldn't, for two reasons. One, this, well, news candle, inconsistent, and the news candle liquidated this. It's just, that's so different in terms of behavior to what my usual wins look like, that I don't really see the reason why I would expand my rule set to allow for this. So, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I don't know, man. I probably should not trade this. No, I would not take this trade. So it's good that I didn't take. So let's see what actually ends up happening. I didn't take this because the news pump liquidated the range high. That's very sus, and I expect the setup to fail. It's super tempting, though, not gonna lie. Yeah, I bet. So here, I would reduce risk on this strong candle, and it would. Here I would reduce risk second time after the fractal structure, and it comes back to break even. Okay, cool. So I'm happy with that. So everything here is nice, or is it? Well, this is nice. This is nice. The 1 minute is kind of weird. Not gonna lie. So good context, good 6 minute. And here it's questionable. Why is it questionable? Ooh, why is it questionable? It's just weird, man. It's just it's inconsistent. That's it. Yeah, it's inconsistent. And same with the 10-second. It's questionable because it's inconsistent. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna call it ultimately. All right. So good context, good momentum. Yeah, inconsistent. Questionable. All right. Oh, actually, just questionable. Okay. And same here with the entry itself. Questionable, inconsistent. So, yeah, this was a mistake, most definitely, but I didn't take it, so that was actually the right thing. Yeah. So, I don't know how I should do this. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out a different system because my later filters filter out what my perfect week should look like, and I don't know if this will be included. Doesn't matter. I'll get back to it. So yeah, that was that. Three more trades. So here's another trade on NAS 100. So let's go there. Good. I guess. I don't know. So yeah, here we are, 6 minutes. This is what I was waiting for, right? So we had this. This was the expectation that this is gonna go higher. This probably now created an MMB over here, and now the expectation is that it's gonna continue. So here, Yeah, I felt comfortable trading over here because this is MMB1, this is MMB2, right? Though MMB2 is absolutely an area that I want to trade, and this one I could have just not traded, and as you can see, I do get another opportunity, so of course I'm going to take it. So here I am on the 5 second, and yeah, strong stage 2, and here it starts reaccumulating a little bit and yeah, loses its setup. This is pretty much a distribution and whatnot. Breaks down, loses its momentum cycle. My expectation is stage 1 into MMB entry, and yeah, if this taps me in, that would confirm this to be a reaccumulation, and I would be very happy. Yep, this is a very nice entry. I like this entry a lot overall. So boop, let's mark that up. Good context, definitely good momentum. Definitely good momentum, and I would say this was perfect entry. Boop, nice. So I'm gonna give this trade a perfect. So let's take a look. It's this trade. Okay, taps me in. I reduce risk as it liquidates this level over here because we're under 5 seconds. So yeah, I just I wanted to see, like, it looks like a big move, but under 1 minute, it's not that big. And yeah, here it pulls back, creates a beautiful new momentum cycle as it liquidates the high. That's fractal structure printed, and I'm completely risk-free. And there's not enough juice, unfortunately. Comes back and taps me out for a break even. But that's good. I like it. This was a very, very good trade. I will take it again. Perfect management as well. So, yep, that was a perfect trade. Very nice. Then we have another trade over here on AS100. So let's take a look what happened on the 6 minute, right? So previously we were over here trying to trade this higher. That doesn't quite happen. Instead, it fails down and starts moving here. So this is most likely some kind of stage 1 here. That's probably what I'm going to see here on the 1 minute. Yep, we have this stage 2. Pretty strong that goes higher, then breaks down, and here, like, I was looking for an entry, but nothing set up quite, and then it had this violent reaction which made me immediately, write this, draw this line, and I was waiting for a new breakout. And here it breaks out, right? This is momentum MB1, and now it's moving higher. So completely valid to trade even here if there is a nice setup. So what do we have here on the 5 second or 10 second, doesn't quite matter. We have this stage 2 that goes higher, 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 and then it breaks down a little bit, right? And it creates all of this. This is a stage 1. Wait, what? I must have made this. Yeah, I took the screenshot a little bit too late. I didn't go back to where it was supposed to be. Ugh, that sucks a little bit. Mm, yeah, you know what? I don't like this. I'm gonna have to find it. Sorry about that. But let's go here and no time. Oh, no time to set up order. Okay, okay. I should have taken this. Cool. So this is September 18 at 14:27. So let's go to NAS. September 18. Yeah. Boop, boop, boop. September 18. What time was it? 14:27. So let's go to like 14, I don't know, 35 or whatever. So boop, select that. The entry should still be here somewhere. Oh no. God damn it. I need to go to main screen. Boom. Okay. I have to find it again. Shit happens. Alright, so boop, select date 18, and I think it was like, huh? Why can I not change time? What? What's going on here? That's very fucking weird. Why can I not select time? Well, doesn't matter. Let me see where the trade was. Looks like it was somewhere over here. Let's go back. Okay. Is it this one? No? Okay, so it was just as it was breaking out of that stage 1. Dude, what? I'm sorry about this, but this is some fucked up shit. 18. Ah, okay, now it works. 1435. Cool. Let's go here. Yeah. Oh, okay, okay. So this is the stage 1 breakout. Yes, sir. And this is. I need to go to the 5-second here. Yep, here it broke out. This is the trade. Okay, okay, I found it. Nice. I found it. I found it. We have to go over here. All right. Now this trade. Let's hide it a little bit. All right, and here we are finally. So now I just need to set it up properly. So boop, 100 more spread, and we have 674 for our this thing. 674 times 5 is what? 3370. Cool. Boom. There we go. So this would be the trade, and I will also do one more thing. Boom. Go back over here just to make sure it's all not tapped in yet. All right, perfect. And now all right, now I can take the picture. Cool. So, bam. There we go. And I will do the same in Miro as well. No way is my Miro not pretty, man. Like, can't be having this shit. All right, there we go. So, how would I have managed? This taps me in. I'm gonna draw this in. Boom. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. No, 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 no. Okay, right here. This would be where I reduce risk for the first time. I was too slow to set this up. I see. Okay, okay, but I do have this. Yep. So I would have reduced risk exactly the same way. And yeah, that would be a break even. Cool. So overall, I think this trade is good, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with this trade. Yeah, I like this trade. So good context. Yeah, this still makes total sense. Good momentum. Good momentum over here as well. And perfect entry. I could have went to, well, actually, you know what? I don't know why I stayed on the 5 second. I can just go to the 10-second here. Yeah. Yeah, that's completely fine. Was a nice entry. Okay, so overall, this was a perfect trade. And need to fill this out. Okay. So overall, perfect. It's not a mistake. Like, I was trying to set it up, but I just wasn't fast enough. Shit happens, you know. Like, that's quite normal. That's gonna happen many more times, I think. Okay, and now last trade. Last trade. Let's go back to Miro over here. Okay, last trade. So here we are on the 6 minutes. What's happening over here? Previously, I see. Previously, I was trying to trade over here with this expectation, but that falls down, gets completely wrecked. But overall, that's a big, big reaccumulation, right? And then big, strong move higher into a new range, pulls back into the rising 1020, exactly the area where I want to trade. Here I am on the 1 minute, and oh, I remember this trade. I remember this trade. Okay, and here it's strong stage 2, starts reaccumulating, liquidating some lows, right? All good. And then strong MB1 validation into the DMB. And this one was a weird one because it did this just before my entry. And I was watching it on the 10-second, and this was already a reaccumulation, I would say. And here, as I was watching it, I already had this buy order set up, and it did this. And honestly, at that point, I explained it to myself saying that, oh yeah, that's just another reaccumulation. This is actually very, very bullish and I should take it. But truth of the matter is, I think it's a little bit of a gamble because literally not a single one of my entries looks like this. And this was like a sell that was a huge, huge sell. dropping on here. Like, makes it feel very, very inconsistent. I usually like to have these tight MBs and all that. So this was a gamble, and I just stayed in for I don't know what reason. But the ultimate question, as always, if I could take this trade again, would I or would I not? The answer is I would not. I would not. I don't care if this ends up being a winner or not. I would not take this because this ultimately is a gamble. Not a single one of my entries ever looked like this before. I don't see a reason why I should take it again. So, yep, that's how I'm going to approach it. So overall, good context, very good momentum. Like all of this is sweet and nice. But the entry itself over here is uh, ugly entry. Ugly why? Well, because it's fucking weird. I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna call this a mistake, and I don't care if it's a win or not. I don't want to take this kind of trade again. So let's take a look. Boop. And it's a break even. Okay, so it dipped one more time before my entry, and I thought that's actually quite bullish. That being said, this is not what my winners look like, so maybe it's actually not a good setup. Let's see what it does, lol. Yeah. This chopped around my entry for quite some time. I almost closed it, so now that it finally moved, I do not want to see it come back risk free. All right, and it goes to risk free, and then it's a break even. Okay. And if I remember correctly, after this, I went for a walk because I got out over here and it started going in my direction. I just wonder if that ended up being a win or not. Let me check that real quick. So this was September 1708. So I'm gonna go back there. No, not Barbara. Here. So maybe like 18 o'clock could be good. So let's just see if that ended up going or not. It's this trade over here, and yeah, that ended up not going actually. So all good, all good. So it was good context, it was good momentum, right? Sorry, I need my marrow. Yep, and it was a 1 minute entry, and the 1 minute entry was ugly because why? Well, management was perfect, but why was it ugly? Not my type of entry. Ugly MB2, and just generally like weird, very different from what I usually trade. Okay, and that concludes this day. Wait. Sorry. One more thing. So, I did end up taking this, and that's a mistake. It's a mistake because it's an ugly entry. All right. So, now going into Thursday, did I write anything down here? So, 8 trades. Okay. No reflection. Okay. No reflection. Cool. So that is that. Now, I wonder how many mistakes I did. Probably quite a few. So if I now filter out mistakes, just for fun. Ooh. Wait, what? Oh, it's not mistake. Yeah, right. No. It is. I want to see what is mistake. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mistakes. Holy shit, man. So one was a blow off top. Yep. Then this was a weak wiki entry or whatnot. And this was a mistake that I did not take it. Was it? Wait a second. What? Stage 2 looked kind of weak. Yeah, it was good that I didn't take it. What is this? It's not a mistake. Yes. All right. It's not a mistake. It's good that I did not take that. Okay, so EU. So this was a forced trade. It was an ugly entry, apparently. Yep, 100%. That was terrible. This was a mistake that I didn't take it, right? I was supposed to. Yep, I didn't pay attention. This was a mistake because it was an ugly entry. So yeah. It was this one where I entered later than I would want to. And another mistake over here that's an ugly entry. So makes sense. Makes sense. And now I wonder if these were wins or losses. So if I check the result, so these were 2 losses and 3 BEs. Okay. Wow. So if I didn't do any mistakes, I would have filtered out what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 1R in commissions. So it's -3. I would have filtered out 3R. Damn. That's a lot. All right. So now I think if I go into my perfect week, I should see all the trades that I was supposed to take. Only those I was supposed to take. Hmm. Oh yeah, I need to go to 38. I thought something looks weird. Okay. So here we are. Hmm. Let's remove this. So, had I traded perfectly, I would be up 6.4. But instead, what am I up? Instead, I'm up 3.6. Okay. Instead of 6.4. I see. So probably I filtered out some kind of break even. Probably filter out some BEs. Probably. So there were 2 wins. The 2 wins that I took this week, I actually took. They were perfect. And here there were 2 -1s, 4 BEs. Okay, so yeah. So I filter out some losses and some Bs. That would be beautiful. Yeah. So I'm gonna circle back to that mistake part, right? So again, it's another week where if I filtered out, if I didn't trade like these tiny, tiny little mistakes, if I was just a little bit more diligent and I managed to adhere to my rules perfectly, I would be able to secure another 3R. And that's another 3R in a week, which is a lot, okay? And it's very common for me to actually see such a big difference of like 3R and whatnot. So here, so look, my results overall are this week 3.6 plus 3.6R. Oh my god, man, what happened here? Plus 3.6. And had I traded perfectly, my results would be plus 6.4. Okay, so that's a 2.8 R difference. Here, that's another 3. No, this is actually even more. This is 7 R difference. This is 1 R difference. No difference. 5 R difference. 1 R difference. Yeah, this was a crazy week. This was a crazy week too. So this just goes to show that almost every week there is so much R to be secured, to not lose, so to say. And if if I extrapolate this into an entire year that has like what 50 weeks or some shit, imagine if it was just 1 R every week that I could have saved. That's 50 R in a year. 50 R in a year. If you just think about like what that is, even on, let's be very, very, very minimalistic and generous here. Let's say a 100K account with 0.3% risk, like I'm doing, right? That's $300. 300 times 50, if I can count, is 15,000. That's $15,000 that I could save on such a small account simply by not doing stupid mistakes. And that's huge. I mean, I don't know where everybody lives and whatnot, probably not so relevant for America, but honestly, $15,000 is almost enough for me and my wife to live for an entire year. Not even kidding. Like, we live a very modest and like easygoing minimalistic lifestyle. We don't mm, shop anything, buy expensive stuff or anything like that. We're just chilling. And we just spend for like food and my wife cooks at home and everything and it's awesome. And this is enough money for us. So it's important for me to realize that like making these mistakes, I'm preventing myself from already probably being a profitable trader and living the life of my dreams, right? Of being a trader and just enjoying myself. So yeah, it's very good to realize this. So anyway, I'm gonna write some stuff down here. So what went well, what went bad? Yeah, let's do this one more time then. Boop, boop, boop. This week, right? Yeah, let's filter out the mistakes again. And so here, right, the mistakes. So one mistake was the blow off top. It was bad. So here I forced an entry that I believe was too late or whatnot. Let me see what I drew into it. Where are the mistakes, man? Was it this one? Yeah. This entry is just so fucking bad. So bad. Jesus. Mm. Oh well, it's fine. Took one super ugly entry. Well, this one. Let's make it same size roughly. That's fine. Okay. What other mistake did I do? Wait a second. Boop. This was a mistake that I didn't take something. Okay, so didn't pay attention once. Didn't pay attention during the sesh. Okay, that was bad too. And then there was another ugly entry that was too late. I already have that here. Yep. And then there was one more ugly entry that was inconsistent. Yeah, that was... Wait, what? What the fuck is this? Oh, yeah, that's a 10-second, I see. So I will find that over here. That was this entry, I believe. Yeah. Yeah. Took an incon took a weird entry. Stop showing me these tips, man. I'm not interested. Okay. There we go. So these are the mistakes. Just going over them one more time. Very important. This was too late for me. Yep, I'm never, ever, hopefully, gonna trade these kind of entries again. This was fucking ugly. Why? Because of this entire thing. Like, what the fuck is this? This is horrible. And this one, yep, this was horrible as well. Like, what the fuck is this, right? Very inconsistent. Okay, but what went well? Because a lot of things went well, okay? So overall, I traded amazing context. Amazing context. This is super important, especially like on a week like this where I have 8 trades on NAS or whatever. It's so important that NAS is in good context. So, yep, definitely traded good context. Amazing momentum, always. I really traded nice momentum. Well, let me actually go through all of these things, right? So if I go over the C's, right, this is trending market, trending market, trending market, trending market, trend, just broke out of stage one, started trending, just breaking out of a stage one, beautiful. Yep, that's also breaking out of a stage one and trending, breaking out of a stage one, breaking out of a stage one, breaking out of stage one, breaking out of stage one. Perfect. Now here on this time frame, uh, I'm supposed to see big trends, right? Strong moves. Yep, strong move, uh, trend, strong move, trend, strong move, trend, yes, trend, strong move, reaccumulation, strong move out of stage one, strong move, strong move, strong move reaccumulating, strong move, uh, yep, strong move, looks good, reaccumulation, strong move, yep, that looks beautiful. Like the V's that I trade are so nice. Always in a strong move, always momentum to follow. Here on the 1 minute, depending on if it's an entry or another validation, it's either going to be, well, yeah, an entry or yet another strong move, just like on the 6 minute. This was an entry, which, yeah, was ugly because of this, and I would not take it again. But yeah, 1 minute, strong move, overall trending, breaking out of stage one. Yep, strong move. Strong move. This was reaccumulation, relatively strong move, but inconsistent. maybe I would actually take it if it was not as high and at least didn't liquidate this. That made it really sus. This one, that was an entry, right? Yep, that was an entry, but it was a horrible entry. So this was MB1. This was MB2. This one is an entry. Yep, valid entry. Very much perfect. Here, this is an entry. Yep, nice entry. 1 minute. This is very strong move. Trending market. 1 minute entry. That was actually good. So I would say something like this is probably MB1. This is MB2. So yeah, I like that. Strong move. Strong move. Strong move. Strong move coming out of stage 1. Strong move. Uh, strong move. Yes. Also strong move. Also strong move. Very nice. And here are some entries. This one, this one is it's okay. It's not the best, but it's all right. This one is very nice. Well, I said very nice because I just looked at the DMBs, but sorry, I need to look at the whole thing. No. This one was not nice. Very weak compared to what I'm used to seeing. Like this chops through the EMAs, not supported by the 1020 the way I would want to see. So kind of weak. Strong stage 2, perfect DMB, like that. Strong stage 2, perfect DMB. Strong stage 2, perfect DMB. Strong stage 2, ugly as fuck. Strong stage 2, reaccumulation. Yep, good entry. Strong stage 2, perfect DMB. Strong stage 2. Well, this is not an entry. Never mind. Strong stage 2, perfect DMB. Yep, that's good. Strong stage 2, perfect DMB. Yep, that's nice. Uh, any more entries? Strong stage 2, weird ass entry. Don't like that. Strong stage 2, perfect DMB. Yep, that's nice as well. Let me mark it up. Boom. Good. Strong stage 2. This one is, well, it's stage 1 into the entry, so it's a little bit different, but it's pretty good. And this one is horrible. So yeah, honestly, very, very nice. Very nice. Like overall, given the volume of trades that I had, most of them were very, very nice. So overall, I traded quite well. And yeah, these are just such tiny little mistakes that I already have rules about, but I don't know, like, I'm not as good at following them yet, I guess. So, but I have 100% confidence that I will be able to weed these out because I already see the troubleshoots, the solutions in front of me, right? Like, it's not hard for me to uh, never make this mistake again. Like, there is a clear ass rule about this, so should be fine. This one, yeah, this is horrible, and I just I forced something. I focused on one aspect of the entry and neglected the other aspects. That should not happen and normally doesn't happen. This is very, very rare. Like, I didn't make a mistake like this in a long, long time. So I think I'm going to be fine in the future as long as I'm aware of it. And this one, yeah, like, this should be very, very easy for me to not do in the future as well. Like, this is so clear that this is just it's it's like it's random, right? It's inconsistent. It becomes a gamble, kind of. And if I just avoid those gambles, I'm gonna be fine. Like I guess I just wanted to feel something or whatever, which is a very silly reason, and I'm aware of it. But yeah, if something happens that makes it inconsistent in relation to my perfect entries, just don't take it. Very simple. So yeah, that's that. Um, thinking if there's anything else that I want to point out regarding this session? I don't think so. Like overall, as long as I do exactly what I'm doing here and I filter out these mistakes and I put a lot of care into into my trading, I should be completely fine. Like I'm putting so much care into my data and filtering out mistakes, watching it, making notes, and stuff like that. It's just a matter of time before I succeed. By the way, if I go here into my forward test, so I gave myself the goal of climbing out of this DD before I return to my funding challenge. And I got myself into quite a deep one, like minus 40 or some shit. But right now I am at minus 16, which, yeah, I mean, it could be 1 week. I don't know. I could have been out of it already had I traded specific days that I had to miss for personal reasons. But I wanted to be completely honest with myself and replicate a real life experience. That's just the way I trade it. I cannot, just because my system would have captured those amazing profits, I cannot act as if I actually got them. Okay, so I want to get out of this consistently on my own and be 100% honest with myself. And once I do, I will feel very, very confident to return to my funding challenge. I already do feel very confident. Like, it's a night and day difference, how I used to trade even at the beginning of this year and how I trade right now, in terms of how refined my rules are, how patient I am, how well I'm able to say no to many setups. Yes, I still make mistakes, but compared to the amount of mistakes I used to do in the past, nah, this is awesome. This is very much awesome, and I think I'm on completely on track of becoming consistently profitable. It's just a matter of time. So overall, I rate this week as quite good. I mean, it's plus 3.6. That's nice. Could have been plus 6.4, but it's all right. It's all right. So I pretty much, well, I'm slowly climbing out. That's all that matters. Okay, I think that is all, isn't it? Well, there's one more thing. I need to mark up the mistakes that I did. Traded inconsistent market. Yep. What else did I do? Uh, I traded a market that was too late. I traded a market. Well, I didn't pay attention. Do I have anything like that here? Nope. Didn't pay attention. Actually, I have a I have a thingy called missed trade, right? Missed valid trade, yes. And took a weird ass entry. And weird entry. Alright. Those are the types of mistakes I did this week. Cool, cool. I don't think there's anything else I want to talk about. So this is probably hella long. I'm aware of that. Sheesh. 100 minutes. But yeah, this is just how much love and care I put into my data, and I believe it will be the reason why I will end up succeeding eventually. For some of you geniuses, you might be able to do it without, but you know, I can't compare to others. If you are able to become successful without being like super organized, I'm a bit jealous of you. Congratulations to you, but ultimately it doesn't matter. I have to do what works for me. And honestly, I enjoy doing all of this, so it's fine. I enjoy being organized and diligent, so it's okay. And if any, as always, if any of this sparks some ideas in you, if you want to chat about trading, do hit me up, write me a DM most likely, or tag me in Trade Talk, whatever it is. And I'll see you guys next week, I guess, in the markets. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekends, and peace.